Alright. This is, more Zelda Hero of Law. People seem to enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and I want to actually finish it and see what happened to poor Talon, who is now, as you know, dead. If you didn't catch the Sunday stream of this, it's basically Phoenix Wright, but Zelda. Alright. Order. Order. I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. Did this make you want to play more Phoenix? Not really, just made me want to play this. This case has already made me weary with all the pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call in Her Highness, Princess Zelda of Hyrule, to the stand. Does she have a new haircut? Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Ah, Your Highness. I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It's quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Bah! In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation, now. The prosecution will behave. Put that knife away, Impa. Holy shit, are you gonna murder someone? I will not have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory? I simply wish not to waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh, man. It's alright, Detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On this stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. We can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I am Zelda, current princess of Hyrule and heir apparent to the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know, why were you at Lon Lon Ranch to witness this terrible incident? It is simple, really. Lon Lon Ranch is Hyrule Castle Town's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule's royal guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill to ensure the quality of the steeds. Wow, I didn't know your horses were used by the royal guard. Your, rather. Yep, we sure work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Huh, knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate that the ranch may no longer meet the Crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust. We're looking for one. Naturally, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. Very well. I arrived at Lon Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m. accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I'll never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible violence. What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? There you go. Decisive victory. As there is no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Objection! Hey now. Oh, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. Objection! You haven't, fool, because there is no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Objection! Did you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. You complete... I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination, no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. Why, she's giddy about murder. I've only read about the court proceedings in the Royal Library. That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations toward the princess. Is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean this testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there is just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That would be this, I presume. Isn't that, wait, what item is that? Is that a trading quest item? Why, yes. That is exactly it. The eye drops, right? For, Bigoron. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that Father intended to gift to Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out to town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as this all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. Objection! It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requires the bottle be accepted into evidence. Desperate to latch on to every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it'll make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. The scene behind the door. So, let's talk about this one. If these guards were with Her Highness, why were they not called as witnesses? We did question the guards, naturally. Apparently they didn't get to see anything relevant, yes. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted that no one be allowed inside until the Sheikah force arrived. I've read that preserving the crime scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards were absolutely thrilled with this order. Please proceed, witness. Statement 2. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. Hold it! Have you conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness? No, this was my first one. Up until last year, my father was always the one to visit Lon Lon Ranch. However, he decided I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me, and so I was to do it this time. You will doubtlessly perform admirably as ruler when the time comes. What happened when you got to the ranch house? Something was wrong. Okay. And what then? Stop interrupting and let her get to the point. Defense. I believe I was clear about not badgering the witness. Drat, I need to calm down. The room was mostly empty. There was a crystal bottle. You paid attention to something like that after seeing a murder princess? Well, I spent a rather long time in there waiting for the Sheikah force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It stood out. In front of the table, the terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. That's weird. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness. That is correct. That's impossible. You're lying. The defendant will curb her outbursts. You're addressing royalty. This is really bad. What now? Accuse Zelda. Where was the victim and the killer at this time? The ranch owner was in front of a little table that is directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right. It is unfortunate, as it is fortunate, that you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now, please continue. What was outside? Are you sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness? No, the place looked empty. Although I did later see a worker pull up a loaded wagon when the courier came asking about milk shipments. It caused a little bit of a scene when the Sheikah force started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside a building on the other side. It's quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Drat, this really doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. I don't think I'm going to accuse... that seems bad, if I accuse of the crime. I'm not doing it. I was overcome with fear. I will never forget what I saw that day. You sure you got a good look then, Your Highness? You didn't look away in panic? Objection! The princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way she did. There is no need to doubt what she saw. Yes, I suppose what she did was admirable. If only we'd arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you'd arrived earlier, you could have been the one that got attacked. Ha! So you would have lashed out at anyone trying to stop you, huh? Despicable. Objection! It's not what she meant and you know it. Princess, go on. And finally, I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I can't believe she would commit such horrible violence. Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know Malin didn't do this. What nonsense. Her heart? What do her organs have to do with anything? Oh, of course. Evidence and testimony be damned just because we feel the defendant must be innocent. Oh, well, if you're sure, then I declare today's verdict. Have you gone senile, old man? It was a joke, much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. I can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? Even if she's the princess, that means nothing. I didn't do it. Trust's authority or your best friend. I need something very concrete to disprove what the princess is saying. You lie, Your Highness, and I have the proof. Objection! Could you be any more rude? This is royalty you're speaking to. Getting lectured on rudeness by this guy. Well, let's see what it is you're waving around. It's, this... You're rude and wrong, it turns out. The defense will abstain from belligerent failures. Uh-oh. I'll have to rethink this. You have to use the item on the correct sentence? Oh, okay, there was something that happened last time chat's reminding me of. I totally forgot. So, it's the cloth, because it was... Yeah. Supposedly she wiped the saw clean with this. Correct item on correct sentence. Is this it? Yeah, that's true. Malin probably couldn't wipe off the blade while the princess was watching. But it's not entirely out of question. There's something much more damning in this testimony. I shouldn't play all my cards this early. Oh, that's the same thing. Something much more damning. Autopsy report. Zelda said she saw Malin pass out right after. She would have seen Malin cleaning her weapon. Autopsy says no later than 8 a.m. Zelda arrived after 8 a.m. I would be so shit at the Phoenix Wright games. A little after 8 a.m. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Victim died from loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I have found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the princess? You will let the defense speak, prosecutor. I think I see why you so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see. That makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner when you arrived, because the victim was already dead by then. Order! Order! Yes, you really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I've not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did. Wait, what? Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There's no one else who could have done it. Wow, Zelda, that sucks. I remember all the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Shoo-bop, shoobity-doo, bop, shoobity-doo, bop, shoobity-doo, bop. Perhaps it'll be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. I have to find something else, or this case will be over. What I actually saw. Sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malin and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Literally said she saw the murder. It's okay, this isn't canon. The real Zelda isn't like this, chat. I see. You only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Very well, hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it's time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmire still looks pretty angry. That is an angry face. I bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could find just another one like that, the princess's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. Why is his name Dragmire? That's his actual last name. Ganondorf Dragmire. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malin and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime. Are you sure Malin was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room at the ranch. What if someone was hiding there? Don't be stupid, Defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out a window? Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are very high up. Actually, those windows can't even be opened. They'd have to break one to leave. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, did you exhaust your singular brain cell on that last contradiction you found? There's a Death Mountain's worth of evidence pointing to the defendant. Just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're making a Death Mountain out of a Death Molehill. How can you be so sure of that, Princess? Well, When I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? It is obvious what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try to hide the weapon. Yes, I might not have seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my, this seems like a very important detail. That's also a lie, by the way. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Dragmeyer certainly does not look happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. The murder weapon was still stuck into the victim's body after all. That doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if someone else snuck in and before Malin and the princess arrived? Well, I suppose... Lon Lon Ranch is surrounded by high walls, and the only way in is through a self-locking gate. Not very many people have a key to that gate, just the personnel in the crown. Well, someone could have forced their way in. Object! If you wish to propose such a possibility, you must substantiate it with evidence. Do you have any proof that another person showed up at the ranch before the princess? I do. The piece of evidence that shows another person was at the scene of the crime is... this! There are traces of another person on the scene. Ha! Wait, what? That just shows you have no trace of evidence to go on. Yes, defense, I'm afraid I can't really trace your logic. Wait, what? You see, wait, no, because she said the thing was still, the saw was still in the body. That was a trap? You followed up on a red herring. Ah, fuck, man. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. Ugh. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body, and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped. Well, Prosecutor Dragmeyer, care to explain? Ugh! This is most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim. And then wiped the blade clean. That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. Guess I must have made up the memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well. You idiotic girl. Do you even realize what you've done through your bumbling? I am sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I try telling my father about anything, he always seems so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant... It is clear that she did it! I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. Worst Zelda. I am sorry for all the trouble I have caused you all. Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we will have to strike your statements from the court record completely. Yes, I did it. I Prosecution lost their key witness. No, please wait, I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not testified about what I saw afterwards. Bah, why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy. Even if you're not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found. What? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah, did you know about this? Of course I did. You did? I'll have your head for this. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court? It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own. What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. Very cool, very legal. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmeyer on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be all that important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. This is highly irregular. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Prosecutor? Naturally I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then it is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It is still clear she did it, even without a witness at the scene. I see. Defense. What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmeyer loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case, too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on one hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left. Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely you won't throw away all the progress you've made thus far. Oh man, that's tough. Really hope this is the right choice. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without seeing what it is. I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you. In order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it somewhere away from the scene has to be admitted as testimony. Yes, Your Honor, I am well aware. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Of all the idiotic, foolish... Order. Very well then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation. Ow. Thank you. I will not let you down this time. I promise. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistake in the earlier testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. I I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop and see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned-out fire nearby, and a small nearby empty bottle of lamp oil. Lamp oil? I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. And here it is, the oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well, of course there is, foolish girl. That bottle won't do anything. Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please. What next? Going to declare every rake on the premises suspicious? Well, I like how the bottom of the gavel is the medallion of light. The prosecution will calm down. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts its right to cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped. Why must you insist on this charade, defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements. I believe there might be some way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous! Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to cross-examination. The court admits the oil bottle into evidence. I just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense. For both your sake and your client's. Okay, mistakes for earlier. The defendant was passed out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. Was there anything else in the room? Only the beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned earlier. The house was rather barren. Most of their things were on the top floor, since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days. And the occasional game. Ah, of course. Dad's famous Cuckoo game. Cuckoo. The good old days. Wait, did Ganon live and become a fucking lawyer? If they remember all the events of Ocarina of Time? Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I can recall. The guards did occasionally protest and ask me to let them take over, but I held my stance. While commendable in theory, staying in the same room as the dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet Hylia up above. That thought did not occur to me. Bah! Of course not. Foolish girl. But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard. Yes, of course I do. In any case... You didn't just go home. The royal visitation was supposed to last a lot longer. Father was not expecting us back at the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I supposed I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle town to Lon Lon Ranch. I cannot imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast, although I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slowpokes, I would be there in half that time, running backwards even. I suppose it's no surprise, though. Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds. The Gerudo buy horses from our ranch too. Just don't bother, he's trying to rile you up. Ugh. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful. Really terrible stench. Ha! Surely you don't mean to say you found the smell of a horse manure suspicious? Do not be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from the horses. Fire, huh? The music. Now let me remind you, Defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire couldn't have been there, or could have been there. You can still feel the cold grasp of death early in the morn. Princess! How long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Ah, right. Well, there was still smoke rising out of the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So around the time of the crime. So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he's realizing the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipment together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you really want to ask about his little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. Without anything concrete to pin on him, he'll just be able to brush it off. It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rupees. Right, and she allowed you to present it? Well, I was the one to find it, since I was going to the trial anyway. Utter ridiculousness! Yes, please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedures exist for a reason. Yes, I understand. Do you have any idea why there would be a fire at the ranch that day? No, it was pretty odd. And it sounds like it definitely is worth looking into, although it'll be hard to link it to the crime in any way. Sorry, Link, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little... Richard! There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out her testimony. Yes, Defense, please get to the point. Thanks. Defense, I believe that is enough. Doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between this fire and the crime at all. Yeah. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Naturally. I've said this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us? No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be important. So go back to the club. Leave my sight. Enough. Your Highness, if you'd allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle, Very well. Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I do believe I am nearly ready to hand down my verdict. Objection! But, Your Honor, there's nothing that definitively shows that Malin committed the crime. This is all circumcisions. There is no way she could kill her own father. That is an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement. But naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call in my third witness. It has to be the ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. Thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double-check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did. Very well. I do believe a break would benefit us all. The court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess. Court is adjourned. It's like court TV. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have. Actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. Ugh, I can't believe she just makes stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. Only there was anyone else in that house. Now, there is no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You've really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have. If you listen carefully, you might just be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecutor's lobby. He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything he could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh, what'd you do? What do you mean? Oh, come on now. Talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. Fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong, at present I'm convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I'm willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it may be your only way out of this. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he's the only one who could have lit that fire. If he's hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. Thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right, and there really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I'm sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. Huh? That's right. The mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. What the fuck? Hyrule still grieves after the events of that day. Wait, is this the one that we know from Ocarina of Time? And yet, no one knows exactly what happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok, people blaming the royal guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. That's why her hair is different. The princess will soon have her whole kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history of as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. The princess's conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have of the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She will learn. She will be better. Someone's got to edit Hyrule Historia. I simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see Impa get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa? What is it, soldier? I'm quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch just sent word of a new development. Oh fuck, another thing? A new thing? Another Zelda has hit the autopsy? Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address. They're asking you to come over and see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. Just slides away. That did remind me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry. It's still unopened. Oh? Thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then. I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. I think I'm so nervous right now, milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But Lon Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Oh no, that's not milk. Huh? You're right. It's Bigoron milk. I assume this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments. Probably. With the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so... maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I'd better make some notes about this in the court record. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. So it comes down to this. The conclusion's approaching. Time to turn the situation around. Like a little Porky Pig moment just happened there. Sounds like the beginning of Mario All-Stars. Court is back in session for the trial of Malon of Lon Lon Ranch. I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I have personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. No cock-ups. No blunders. No boners. No boobing it up. Hopefully his ears are intact. People that are tabbed out are like, wait a minute, did he really say that? I have to like tab back in real quick. The world may never know. As we discussed before the recess, having established an opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. The matter of motive, for naturally, such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes the defendant has a deep desire that pushed her to the patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well, please proceed. The prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. The humble and kind Ingo. Huh, it's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. It's almost like looking at a different person. I guess he wanted to dress up for court. He wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Your Honor, Great Honorable Prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mind Lon Lon Ranch. Mind? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly there to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughters are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of the orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered rather, through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times. Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch's silo single-handedly. Well, that's some dedication. Wanna talk about some? Very well. Given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information. Is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we were like a big family. That sounds lovely. It sounds like a red flag that you're going to be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partly signed the ranch over to his daughter, Malon. Talon became a life tenant, with Malon meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. Wow. And there you have it. Testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence, and we have the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of the crime. Now we have a motive. So go back to the club. How do we know he's telling the truth? Bah! I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castle Town Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lon Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Mr. Ingo, why would you? You should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing.
Jackson!
I would like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant.
But of course, ask whatever you like. I, the hard-working Ingo, can handle it.
Very well, defense. Please begin. Okay. Let's see. How long ago was this exactly?
3, 4 days. I'm not sure the exact date.
Had it been planned for a long time?
Talon was getting on in years. Better to take care of the matter sooner than later, eh?
Malin? He's telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. What do you mean by partly, witness? Let's see. So Malin hadn't become ranch owner yet.
Oh, of course not. Have you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment ownership is signed to them. Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he could always revert his decision.
That's horrible. I'd never do that.
As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself.
I must concur. The younger generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that?
Anyway, what I meant was, I am not crazy. I'm not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216, one after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never, never. I just couldn't prove it. He covered his tracks. He got that idiot at the copy shop to lie for him. You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? He's done worse. That billboard. Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No! He orchestrated it. Jimmy, he defecated through a sunroof. As long as Talon lived, Malin could not tell the rest.
But why would Malin want to sell the ranch right now?
Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown.
Nice emote, Johnny. Alright, I added it. It's the whole Michael McKean emote. Hang on, I gotta reload the chat for that one. Oh no, not our Jimmy. Not our Jimmy. That is fucking hilarious. Alright, she'd have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything.
Wow! She's often slacking on the job, while I, the hard-working Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the Deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job, too.
I don't even know what this voice is anymore. I do recall quite a funny story about the Lon Lon Ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for the entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took a particularly vocal cuckoo, apparently. Cuckoo? Ah, jeez.
Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Me, the hard-working Ingo.
Link, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? Do you really think Malin would go that far?
I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they?
Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then?
Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her!
That's all right. Well, if Malin didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only a child. She'd still inherit the ranch.
Muhaha! That's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now.
Is this true? Yes, Father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds won over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame.
Yes, naturally, the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time.
I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we?
Objection!
Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malin have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You'd think she would have chosen any other day.
Oh, did I forget to mention these? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her that he'd changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he'd head to Castletown and exchange the inheritance back to the original split.
What? Always very convenient. The kind, the humble, the hardworking Ingo. Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear that he did make the right choice in the end. Because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? There was an argument about the inheritance. That sounds like an important fact to me. The defense requests it be added to the testimony. Very well, witness. Please do so.
I'd be happy to, Your Honor.
About what time did this happen?
First thing in the morning, I was heading out to the silo to start the day's work. I just walked out the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling erupt behind me.
Do you remember any specifics about what was said?
Oh yes, it surprised me enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like, I'm real sorry, Malin, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses. I don't care. What about me, father? How can you do this to me? Malin, this isn't just about you. This is for the good of the entire kingdom. But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up in life if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever. I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals are there, and Ingo's always around to help with the chores too. He's pretty great, isn't he? Yeah, Ingo is awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over.
They totally said that, didn't they? About how awesome Ingo is? Yeah, the animation was great there. What a stirring reenactment. I will keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this has actually happened, though. Malin would never want to sell the ranch. Objection. Well, of course she'd say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can't trust a thing she says. Well, I trust her. But the judge probably doesn't right now. And that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record that could refute this story? If you ask me, the whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there would be no question what the fortress may seize. That the fortress may seize whatever it desires. That's just messed up. No matter. Continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant.
It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed.
Another gift?
Why, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable.
Well, that's the discrepancy, isn't it? Wait, well, he was gonna give it to Zelda. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add the statement about the perfume to the testimony. What are you doing, trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant. But I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to your testimony. Where did you see this?
I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malin on the day he was killed.
Do you mean this, witness?
Why, yes. That's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much of his salary for me, the hard-working Ingo. I get up and leave to do work at the break of dawn every day, you know.
What's your relationship with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us at the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one. Talk about dedication. Talk about... But even so, something is very much off here.
Objection!
Witness.
What is it?
Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought from Malin by her father, correct?
What else would it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes. Far from it.
Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. Objection. So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of the bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin? It sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making this visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Somebody's movements? Or Talon's taste in gifts? I don't know. Some bowel movements. Someone's movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt. Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then, Defense. Who is this person? Naturally, the person whose movements become suspect is... the judge. Zelda's only 14. This is the different Zelda, remember that. Ingo? I don't know. Because Ingo didn't... I'm thinking Talon. Talon left the ranch. He heard them arguing, but Talon left. Huh. Definitely the judge. The owner of the ranch, Talon. The victim? How so, Defense? If the victim went out to buy the perfume bottle, he should have not been there to get killed? What? Objection. Defense, are you proposing that the victim hasn't actually died? Well, of course. Why, perhaps we should send out a rescue party. He may still be stuck in the labyrinth that is the local perfume store. Meanwhile, the defense can try to get out of the labyrinth that is in their own convoluted mind. Sorry. But even so, the fact that the perfume was bought at the last minute still causes a big problem. Puts one thing into question. Someone's movements around the ranch. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Oh, okay, that makes more sense than him not hearing Talon arguing. Ah! Order. Order! The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton, what is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you go to the scene of the crime at any point?
No, of course I didn't. I was working in the silo all the day. I remember I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl is lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before.
You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One's word against another. Defense, do you have any way to prove that your version of events is true? I think we have to ask the owner. Smell it? What is smelling it going to do? Well, there was a... Why, we should just smell the perfume. What? All shall be revealed if we just smell it. Your Honor, if you would. Well, if you say so, defense. I save stated right before. I just wanted to see what would happen. Oh, it's quite lovely. Huh, seems like Talon had quite the nose to pick this out. Great, you got the courtroom to smell like a kickwee's behind. Now what? How does this prove anything, defense? Surely there was a purpose to this whole exercise. That is, well, the smell is very strong, so the perfume can't be that old. Objection. Perfumes have a longer shelf life than just a couple of days, you idiot. Right. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I was thinking I would accomplish. Well, the courtroom smells nicer, but that won't get you out of this. Okay, I'm gonna ask the store. Why don't we send a soldier to ask the store owner when the bottle was bought? Ah, do you know how many people visit that store? It's inconceivable that the owner would remember every random purchase. Any other ideas, defense? Just find the receipt. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt. The receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top. I believe this idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Your Honor. Yes, what is it, soldier? We have just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot writing on this. From Tingle's Mysterious Smells. Ew. Ah, yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric-looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead. Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor. And the balloons! Oh, the balloons. That fool popped one right in my face. Prosecutor Dragmire, enough! Continuing on, purchased item. 1 bottle of Rosy Rupee Land. Good reference. Oh my. This is quite the price. Why, I would have to... Objection! Your Honor, please! The date of purchase. Ah, yes, right, date of purchase. Why, it's March 16, the day of the murder! Ah! Yep. Order! Order! Yes, we got him. Whew, I think we're finally getting somewhere. Ah, this still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then.
Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then.
Oh, come on. You think we're gonna believe that? Do you have any proof that he didn't? Well, I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day.
Ha, my movements? My bowels are in perfect condition. Well, all right. There's not a lot to say, though.
It's unfortunate that he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. My non-suspicious movements.
As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was that detective a fine woman.
Wow, he's smitten with Impa. Vomit, now!
See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat!
I'll pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. What were you doing?
Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We send out crates of milk to milk bars across the kingdom every day, you know.
Milk bars?
Naturally, everyone loves a good drink, you know. And our milk is renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water theirs down. Despicable.
I see. That's interesting. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though.
Indeed, Talon and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Force's investigation would delay the shipment, that I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine.
Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Ah, you Hylians, ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? Bet you couldn't even handle a sip of the Gerudo's Noble Pursuit, a real man's drink. A real man's drink, aren't most of the Gerudo women? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water.
Yes, of course. Moving all that heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see. I got very thirsty and... At one point, I briefly went to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water.
You don't think just taking... you didn't think to just take a sip of the milk you were handling?
No, it wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see? I just didn't want to get into any trouble.
A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right. So, what did you see at that house?
Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Muhaha!
Great. What happened after that, witness? And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own?
Bah! You didn't know the might of the great Ingo?
Or don't know?
Hot! Ya! Pow! Wham! I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo, though.
There were so many and all so heavy. It's like a puzzle in there. Yes, it is.
Anyway, that's not important. The point is...
Are you sure?
Sure as I can be. Muhaha!
You never went back in even after the crime was discovered?
Bah! They wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or some such. Couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible.
Is what he just said important? It is important. Your Honor, I would like the witness to add his last statement to his testimony.
What? What are you trying to pull now?
Very well. Witness, please amend your statement.
Fine, whatever.
Didn't even get to sleep or access any of my belongings. Couldn't you have stayed at an inn?
Bah, what am I, made of money? Think, boy, I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know?
Phew, you lawyers always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. I doubt one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. Can you elaborate?
She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love?
That's not the part I wanted him to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it.
Perhaps when this chore of a trial is over, I could... But no, it will have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius ranch worker? Ingo, see through your schemes.
He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah, it was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. It's time to press for more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Well, there's a couple things. One is the milk is watered down, so we know that. Two is the fire. And there was the address, the incorrect address. But also we could present a profile. His outfit? I mean, the outfit is a little suspicious. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. I didn't even get to sleep or access any of my belongings. Oh! How are you wearing your nice outfit? They hinted that a bunch of times, too.
Objection!
Witness, there's something seriously wrong with your testimony.
What? What are you talking about?
You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in?
That's right.
Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all.
Ah!
The defense has a point. The witness apparently appears pretty well dressed for court. Can't imagine he would want to sully those clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that?
Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new. Yeah. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to the court dressed like a bum.
Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What is that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. Blue. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime, is that correct?
Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself?
No, I don't accept that. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible!
What?
Oh, how can you claim so? Defense says you know evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought these clothes today, or get out. Hang on. Hmm. Hmm. Take that. I would like to turn the court's attention to this. Huh. Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Ah, it reminds me of the idyllic days I spent with my grandson at the fishing pond. Objection! What about this pictograph defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This photo is from Malon's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today. Order. I will have order. Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There. I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Objection! Oh, unless someone weasels out for him. Bah, isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. That's such bullshit. Oh? Oh-ho. Oh-ho-ho. Yes, of course, I needed to be presentable, after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Objection! Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making excuses up on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation. The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. Defense. The prosecution has posted that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternative version of events? This is big. I really need to think this through. Ingo is acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Why would he be doing that? I mean... Ingo's the murderer. If it's not Malin, Ingo's the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did. I want to think Malin is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? Talon's blood got on them. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared? They were thrown in a fire! That's awesome. It's like the goddesses are the three forming the Triforce of law. Ingo burned his clothes. That's it. That explains everything. I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Objection! Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. Objection! Not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of murder.
No!
It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Objection! Preposterous! If there was any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Sheikah Force would have found them and we would be trying to someone else for murder right now. Why, you are absolutely correct, prosecutor. Huh? Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around. And so he used this to dispose of them. Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. Princesses. Ah, the mysterious fire. Objection! Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by burned-out fire, followed by a burned-out fire. Ingo used this lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. Found by. Actually, that was correct. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it.
This is... No! Hold on. What drivel are you spouting here? Me kill Talon? You already know that's impossible!
Too busy for murder.
Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it.
Chat, give me 2 seconds. I need something to drink. I've been reading for like 2 hours, and I didn't have any water or anything, so I'll be right back. Sorry, Chad, I was making a delivery, a milk shipment delivery. What if I just never came back and we just left this here?
There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There is no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor, innocent Ingo.
Now, I shouldn't have to remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. Adding even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous.
That's right. The great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient.
No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here, some kind of shortcut. I must find it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. Oh yeah? What about this, fucko? Objection! Ah, but you did, though. Did you really complete those shipments properly? Objection! Defense! I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah Force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure of it. Sure, it looked that way. What are you getting at, Defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh? Milk. For me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But, to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know. That was me, like, 2 minutes ago. You've probably talked the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. Water? I have to agree, this is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Objection. Whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, Defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened, during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own, unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time! Order! Order! Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed, all he had to do is milk fewer of the cows. To save enough time without ruining the taste too much, I'd guess he used about 50-50 split of water and milk.
This is... No! That... Talon...
Objection! Let me stop you right there. I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker.
How dare you!
Objection. Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now we do know he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know he did have time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet there is a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. Rebuttal. The murder weapon. You lack the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. This is a mechanic from Ace Attorney fan games? Oh. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? I believe we're in complete agreement on this point. You do realize the problems that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. Ha! As if... But very well, then let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. Where would the supposed other murder weapon have even come from? Couldn't he have used any old thing? Either answer the question, defense, or this discussion is over. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten a weapon from will do. I'll worry about the exact details later. Where would he have gotten the weapon from? Hang on. Ranch inventory. There's 6 knives. There's 1 wood saw. Scythe. Garden hose, rakes. I mean, you can use any of this. 3 axes. Have you forgotten this murder happened on a ranch? There are plenty of sharp things on site. Oh, that's simply impossible. Why? We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo have just... Ooh. Wiped it off? Blood leaves traces. It's not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, but other beings like Zora can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Sheikah Force employs people just for this task. Also, as Lon Lon Ranch focuses on selling horses and milk, the animals there aren't regularly butchered. So there's no good reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. Well, I guess that's a good point, and we have to rethink this. Couldn't Ingo have just... Huh. Disposed of it in some way. That's impossible. You see... No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. How can you be so sure the inventory is accurate? Use your head. There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would have double, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. Suppose he would have, but... It was written by Ingo. The inventory list itself is false. Oh, fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? Another piece of evidence contradicts it. No? Uh-oh. It's this, of course. Judge, do you have any idea what the defense is blathering on about now? No. Shit. It's not the list that's dubious, but the defense's own shaky claims. I thought I had to... I don't know. I thought I had to, like, dispute it with evidence. Shit. Never mind, then. It do be the... Oh, I can use the profile! Something about the inventory itself, right? It's simple. Look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Can't go around making general statements. Point out exactly about what about the inventory makes it suspicious. Oh. Just look here. The one who compiled the list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan. Ugh. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. Wouldn't Ingo have been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Obviously, we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. This is the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? What about the shipment? Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous. Have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah force before they were allowed to leave? It's true, but there was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What in Din's name are you babbling about? We're talking about bog-standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple. They overlooked... Oh. It's not gonna be in the milk. In the bottles? I don't know. There's one place inside the crates the Sheikah couldn't have checked thoroughly without ruining the shipments. Without ruining the shipments? That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Well, it'd have to be a fucking small murder weapon. Now just wait a moment. A weapon in the milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. How can you be so sure? Do you even know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? Although shipments have most certainly been completely used up by now. Someone drinking from that bottle would have found it for sure, choked on it even. They took too large a swig. It would be a huge scandal. He's right about that, but he's missing some vital information. Oh, I know the vital information. Milk shipment return. It was misaddressed. Nice. You would be correct that a weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No! Indeed, if you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now, that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the Postal Service was on its game today. Maybe because they were worried it would start to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Hell yeah.
This is a slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead?
The motive. That's simple. I'm surprised you're even asking about it. The evidence easily explains your motive. The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter, Malin of Lonlon Ranch, will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah.
What?
You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malin for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day. It gave you an alibi so that Malin would be the only possible culprit. Of course you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malin would go back to the ranch house to prepare for the arrival, before the arrival. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body.
No! What are you talking about? Alan signing the ranch over to me? Preposterous.
Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmeyer who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor. What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with it on their own. The box arrived just as we were to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could those Sheikah idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. That's weird, but alright. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right.
Oh, I had it. Fine. You wanna know why? You wanna know why I really killed that scumbag?
No, what are you... So you admit it?
Yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of backbreaking labor, despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish without any reason? Fired. Farewell. We don't need you anymore.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
Don't lie. I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work. And lo and behold, what's this? Malin and Talon are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malin, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it.
Order. The witness will cease his boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away. Hold it. Wait just a moment. Ingo.
Yes, girl. Want to apologize for what you've done?
Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You were completely misunderstanding what we were saying. What? You've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry some about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish you'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Wah! Huh. Now, that's an idea. It'd do him good to just get out for a while. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. Ingo, you fucking moron. That's... You were planning what? A vacation for me? And I did... No, it can't be so. Please say it isn't so. No, they're all attacking him in the crotch. All the little musical motifs are just done so perfectly. We have witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what you have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had the good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but across all of Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot, dressed like a clown. Jeez, he really is laying into him. I bet he's just upset because he lost. The prosecution's rant aside, I think it is time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I'm very sorry for the situation you found yourself in. I'm very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Ah, thanks. Now then, without further ado, in the name of the goddess Hylia and sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malon of Lon Lon Ranch not guilty. Someone said Link getting a sloopy toppy. What's a sloopy toppy? Like the sloop John B? Court is adjourned. A sloopy toopy. It's a it's an ice cream. it's like a slushie. That's nice. Link gets a milkshake. We did it. I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really, though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free. It's time to celebrate. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, and, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you. Really. So, thank you. Now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? Thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? I was, but I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There's no need to bow, not after what I've done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carted off to prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury's, pretty serious, so that's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, You don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, Detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yeah, she had like a stank face that I was like, huh? Who is this? So yeah, it's Zelda's sister. Zelda. There's some things you should think twice about doing in the future, but it's all thanks to you that the young lady over there finally went free. They never said her name is Zelda? Dog. It says Zelda. Show Her Highness what I'm talking about. Well... Impa just shot me the most unimpressed face. Never mind about that. I showed her the badge! I'm assuming the badge is a meme in the Phoenix Wright games. Yeah. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malin isn't too upset. Well, sure. Ten Hut! We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn how to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I'd imagine. The urgency with which she has been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What? Is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then, my duties call, unfortunately, so I must be off. You will not have dinner tonight. No dinner! Again, you did well today, both of you, and I trust I will be able to rely on you in the future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Uh-oh. You. Hello. Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now, where did that blasted detective go? You have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies. It's like, dude, he admitted the guy was... Ingo was like, I did it. I killed in cold blood, motherfucker. And he's like, my reputation. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. It's his job. I get it. That's also why there's so many lawyer jokes about, you know, lawyers and stuff. Because, you know, sometimes they have to defend Ingo. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and that stupidity of the blasted detective that led to your arrest. So if you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there is some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears that she fled from me like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations! Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course, I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father may have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. Why not just use a fairy on the body of Talon? I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. Felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malin continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following, some of the happiest I'd lived in a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. Sequel bait. There's also the matter of Zelda 1 being murdered mysteriously. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. I mean, it's a lot of reading, so I wouldn't want to stream more like Phoenix Wright stuff, because it's just 3 straight hours of reading. But you know, I was interested in this one because it was Zelda. And like I know all like the stuff when they were talking about the box puzzle in the silo, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've been there dozens of times in my life." So it was just more fun for me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. So people who made it, great job. Is that one of those dudes from Spirit Tracks? Huh. This is one of the most unique Ocarina of Time mods I've ever played. And, one of the best. And polished, too. Yeah, it felt like really, really well, like, put together. This is amazing. Even the music and the ending, it's just like, are you kidding me? Now I can say I kind of know what Ace Attorney is like. Because Chad's saying that the mechanics of this are exactly the same. OOT NPC Maker. I love her Sherlock Holmes, like, office in Kakariko. That's amazing. See Luigi blood in there. Okay, now you get to play as Attorney Link. And it's just Ocarina of Time again. Only thing's different is that Talon's dead. But no, seriously, that was fucking incredible. I loved it. And, man, definitely worth a revisit. Without a doubt. So thank you everybody for watching. My voice is a little tired, but yeah, it was totally worth the effort. Scene select is now unlocked. Extra 1. What's extra 1? Meanwhile, somewhere else. No way. Wow. Is this like Talon's heaven or hell? Yeah, it's the Mario Wonder song. It's so jank. Look at how he crouches. Is that a mouth? Those look like teeth. Oh my god. His lives, -1. Rip. Huh. I'll tell you about a secret I've heard. Supposedly, there's a game with a giant egg in which you can become a criminal. And a pair of games with climate change and time travel. They say that extras can be unlocked by connecting them on a title screen using a certain accessory. What? Giant Egg? Link's Awakening? Chrono Trigger? The Oracle games! Oh yeah, the time travel. Using the N64 transfer pack. You can use N64 Link features to unlock more shit. There's an entire other case. What? I'm assuming it's not, like, the same length as this one. Not as long, but very cool. I'll tell you what, I'm good. I kind of want to see what it looks like, but I'm good. I got a lot out of this. So yeah, that was amazing. I want to take a quick break though, and I want to then return with the Super Mario thing. I want to try to finish that today if possible. I've got like an hour and a half, and then yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. I'm just happy you got a taste of Ace Attorney. It was cool. It was actually really cool. Okay. So be back very, very shortly.